Hey, so I'm going to introduce Companion, which is essentially your AI personal programming tutor. Um, the way it sort of works is, if you're a student or just an individual learner, and say you're really learning anything, but in this case we'll focus on programming. Um, ChatGPT is a great resource, but one of the core issues is it immediately provides you with the answer. I mean, even on study mode, it is going to tend to converge towards providing the answer. Um, and so that prompted me to build this particular tool, which essentially is a tutor that is never going to provide you with the answer, but it's going to provide useful and meaningful information based on, the problem that you're working on and the code you've written or are about to write, or if you need an explanation for a concept, um, and that sort of stuff. Um, there's two parts to this. The tutor is available in the VS Code as an extension. So, VS Code's common um, development environment that most people use. So in this case, it could be for your side projects. It's programming language agnostic, um, and the tutor is available there. So this is how it sort of looks on VS Code. So this particular project right here is just something I'm doing as a side project to learn essentially how to build a basic API server in Go. And it's also for me to understand and develop more with Go. Um, and so I'm just getting files from the user here and then saving them in the local directory and then probably going to do some pre-processing later. So I want to give some demonstrations, and I have another video on how to install, but it's very straightforward. You literally go on VS Code either in your editor or on the marketplace. You search Companion AI Tutor. It should show up. From there you press install, and then from there all you're going to do is Command Shift P, and you're just going to sign in, which is going to then prompt you to sign into our website, which is entirely free. Everything here is free. So yeah, the way it works is, let's just look at a particular example. So like, for example, one of the things is, say you're learning solving a problem, or you built a project and you want some feedback on how, like, your code and, the structure and everything you've written thus far. So here's where Companion could provide a lot of help, right? So I pretty much just said earlier that, I finished my web server that accepts user files and saves them in the local directory. But it gave an interesting point, which is, saving uploaded files could allow for unusual or malicious names. So this is an unknown vulnerability that I may have introduced or did introduce because, the way I'm saving the user uploaded file by directly using the user's name. So then I wanted to prompt it further by asking that, so great, I want to learn how to sanitize files because that's one of the solutions I recommended. So the good thing here is, like, so in this case, I want to learn how to sanitize file names, right, to avoid the security risk. What does it provide? It does not provide the answer. It does not provide you, like, it's not meant to just write the code for you. It's going to provide you with useful information. It's going to answer your question, but it's going to answer in a way that a tutor would. So in this case, it explains exactly what sanitizing files is. It provides examples, and then it gives you hints or useful directions that you could look at within the Go language. So in this case, looking at the file path package within Go, and then also looking at the replace all method for strings within Go, and then introducing this concept of regular expressions, right? And then I further ask, can you give me an example of how replace all would work? Again, it's not going to actually be some sort of a vibe coding agent. It's never going to actually edit your file, nor is going to directly provide any code for you, as in like the direct solution. But it can provide code examples, code snippets, explanations and descriptions of concepts, links to documentation. The whole point here is to help you learn, and really for those students who are looking for something to help them with their particular projects, whether it's getting hints, explaining concepts, or just, in general needing help without wanting to get the answer and then wanting to develop their own problem solving skills. This would be a very, very helpful tool with regards to that. So, I mean, even a question here we could ask is, So the way you would do it is, you could just do @tutor within the VS Code chat, or you could just do Command-Shift-C, and that would open up the VS Code chat with the @tutor pre-filled. And then so here, say I want to learn about, you mentioned regular expressions. What are these? So say I never heard about regular expressions before. And so now it's going to provide an explanation for what they are and why they're useful, and in this case, why they would be useful for our case. And then it's cool. It provides a nice snippet. And then, from there, we could then use this knowledge and use the regex package, which it also provided, to then, implement that corresponding logic to sanitize file names in this case, or whatever it be for your case. So this is the VS Code extension as a V1. Again, this is available on the marketplace, free to download. The second thing I want to introduce of where Companion lives is actually directly within the web app. And this is for if you are brand new to programming and you just want to, you want to learn. There's a lot of great MOOCs out there, Coursera, etc. A large part of them, though, are not, for one, many of them obviously don't have, say, a personalized AI tutor, as you on, the problems that you're working on, or the notes, and integrated within the course and the course notes and exercises. The second thing is they tend to be less practice focused, and less personalized in practice. So based on what you get right or wrong, it's more generic in the sense that if I get certain concepts wrong, I'm still going to be moved on to the next thing or the next exercise the same way if I were to get it right. This is different. This is based on your performance on for one, this is very practice focused, and then based on your performance on each exercise, it's then going to route you to a different exercise. So if you got one exercise right, so it's going to give you a more difficult exercise in that module. If not, then it's going to give you a more easier exercise to help you reinforce that concept. So let's sign up. Again, this is 100% free. You can sign up with your Google account to make it fast and easy. Notice immediately, the first thing you're prompted to is, take the Python quiz to calibrate your level. So what this means is, this is the core modules within the course, right? But when a student comes in, especially in just the generic sense, anyone really coming on this site, some people might have a basic understanding of programming. Maybe they've programmed, 5 years ago and now they've completely forgotten it. But, a quiz would be a good way to quickly indicate, which level they are. And based on that level, and the AI is going to essentially determine which module you should start at. So this is the quiz. In a future video, I'll actually go through the quiz from scratch, and then we could see the actual response. But yeah, you would essentially complete this quiz, go on for each question. It's 14 questions. From there, I'm not going to actually complete it, but from there, essentially all your results are going to be passed to the AI, and you're going to get a learner profile. And either the AI is going to be if you got everything right, yeah, or most of the questions right, the AI is probably going to be hey, you don't need to take this course. But if not, then it will recommend it will recommend you to take this course, and also in particular recommend which module you should start at. So it might say, hey, you have a basic grasp of, variables, strings, if statements, else statements, but you struggle a bit with loops based on the quiz exercises. You struggled a bit with answering those. So let's start at for loops. And so then these previous ones will be completed. You can still go through them, but you'll be prompted to start here. That's sort of the way it works. And again, this is still a work in progress, but this is the course. I'm going to just move this here. So again, you're given basic notes and, explanations on the concepts. So in this case, learning the hello world and the print statement. Cool thing is your AI tutor is always going to be accessible here. So can you explain print statement a bit further? So again, this is obviously a bit more of an easier example, but same concept as exactly the VS Code. except in here it's in the web browser. And the cool thing is you have the IDE within the web browser too, so you could run your code directly in the web browser. And for the exercises that you're prompted to, you will, either there will be multiple choice or there are going to be coding questions. So, let's just go through this. This, coding question, you could then, again, run it in here and submit it to see your results. And like I said earlier, this is personalized, and, part of the way we do it is through the ELO score. So based on how you perform on your previous exercises, your ELO is either going to go up or go down, and then based on that, your next exercise is going to be routed to you until you've proven mastery or reached a certain ELO score threshold. So in this case, we could give an example. You submit the solution. Nice, we've passed. And then, your ELO score goes up. You then proceed, and then once you proceed enough, or once you do enough of these, and the model feels confident that you've understood the module, it's going to prompt you to the next module, in this case, variables and data types. So this is how this works. It's potentially a new way to help students and individuals who are wanting to learn and want access to, say, help in a more personalized level, on demand, so to speak, where they could just, ask the tutor and get help, say, outside of the classroom, or if they're just any individual learner, say, learning on their own. So yeah, that's Companion, and I wanted to share this. And, in upcoming videos, I'll do more demos of, me actually going through the course and using the VSCode extension in a real project. But it's 100% free. It's more of an experiment and a project that I've built. So feel free to try it out. And yeah, thanks.